I'm here with Jon Foreman of Switchfoot, and we are here behind the scenes at one of his shows. How are you today?
I'm great. I'm really good, thanks.
It's good to be in California. You're from San Diego,
Yeah,
correct?
home state.
And what are your favorite things to do when you're home?
Um, I'm gonna say be with my family. Uh, got a 3-year-old baby girl, so that's my favorite thing. And then, surfing and then recording music at our studio. Those are my top three, I'd say.
That's awesome. So you have a studio at your home?
No, well, it's not a it's like we bought this warehouse years ago. This little quarter of a warehouse, and it's kind of our clubhouse, so it's where we made the last three Switchfoot records and a lot of fiction family stuff and solo stuff, and it's kind of like is my dream. You walk in there, you got the xylophone, you got lap steel, you got whatever you need right there.
That's awesome. Well, here at Juice, we like to always ask questions that are fun to start off with. So, what are some of the clubhouse rules at the studio that nobody else would know about?
Oh man, coffee. You always say yes to coffee. That's
Okay.
that's
Rule number one.
That's rule number one. I think it's kind of an unspoken rule that you kind of clean up when you're not working on something, because it's like any creative space. It gets really messy really fast because, you have this idea and you're running fast, and then all of a sudden 3 hours later the place is a wreck.
Oh,
So,
no.
you can't have that. That's probably another unspoken rule.
One more rule? Do you have any more? One that you know you're not supposed to share.
Bibimbap Friday.
Oh my goodness. What does that mean?
It's a Korean delicacy. It's the best food you've never had.
Oh boy.
It's
Well,
really
we'll have
good.
to Google that a little later. Okay, so you have a new project out called The Wonderlands. And from one artist to another, I absolutely love this concept. I love the creativity. I honestly believe that, if we're representing the creator, we should be creative. And so I love the fact that you have, and it's not just one album, it's EPs, a bunch of EPs grouped together, and you just released one in September and one coming up as well. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, so you know, for me, music has always been this place that I can go to. It's like almost like this planet where uh, you can go to this place and you look back on your own problems, your own questions with a little bit more perspective, right? And music, I feel like it provides a scaffolding for your thoughts. And so my thought process on this was, what if I could create a full day, 24 hours, that would be diving into the shadows and the light of what it means to be human, and using that as a metaphor for doubt and faith and fear and hope and all these different elements that I wrestle with, you know, not only with family but with my faith and my role in the community. So this was my chance to kind of I think the solo project, it becomes more of a confessional element, when you've got an electric guitar,
Yeah.
it's hard to be confessional, and
Right.
this is my chance to kind of dive into all these the highs and lows of what I wrestle with, all throughout the day.
I definitely got that when I was listening to the album. I could tell you were being so transparent and yet so poetic at the same time with the lyrical content. And I saw that you worked with like 24 different producers amongst the album, because there's actually chopped into four, right? It's like, you want to explain kind of the concept of
Yeah.
how did you get it to be so fluid with so many producers and so many songs and just trying to make it, but it flows so beautifully and so poetically. I love that.
I'm glad you think it flows, because that was the hardest part, was trying to get all these amazing musicians, producers, Andrew from Group Love, Darren from Mute Math, Taylor from Paramore, and Jeff Coffin from Dave Matthews Band, and all these amazing people that were involved. They've all got their own stamp on the song, right? And then, which you want, but then you want it to feel cohesive as
Yeah.
a unit. So that was the hardest part about this whole thing.
Well, you did an awesome job, because I definitely felt like, wow, it just takes you on a journey, like with your thought process, because you're a thinker. I can tell you're a thinker, and you're a seeker, and I can feel that within the journey that you take the listeners on. What was your mission and your heart behind having such a creative concept and being able to really just piece these things together. And the songs are really personal. Like, you know, they really touch your soul. But what were you thinking, like, this is what I want the listeners to take from listening to these EPs?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think my mission with the Wonderlands project is the same with what I'm going to be trying to do over there on stage tonight, which is I want to bring them to the Wonderlands. I want to take them on a journey. Um, I want to discuss faith, doubt, fear, hope. I want to feel like at the end of the night we've traveled somewhere. Maybe we've been in the same room the whole time, but we leave the room as different people.
That's awesome. And why Wonderland? Why that name?
I think with any creative endeavor, the good stuff for me always starts with wonder, which is to say there's an appreciation for the world as it is, and it's my role as a created soul to look out with wide eyes, and I think that type of stance can create great art. You know, big ears, big eyes, big heart. Let's start writing some songs.
I love it. So can you break down the names of each EP, because there's 4, correct?
Yeah, so Sunlight kind of encapsulates, it starts at 11 o'clock, goes for 6 hours, and then shadows start creeping in, you know, and then 6 hours later, you got 11 o'clock at night, it's darkness, you know, and darkness is, a lot of people are sleeping, but a lot of people, myself included often, you're up questioning why you're here, you're trying to figure out the world, you know, and so that's where darkness sets in, and then 6 hours later, dawn begins, and you know, as a metaphor for resurrection, rebirth, all of those things.
I love that. And so I want to say that Darkness so far is my favorite. And I was listening to it, and there's a song on there called Inner Peace. And I felt like that was kind of, because the autumn one, or dawn, hasn't come out yet. With that being the last song of the 3 that are out right now, how is it? I felt like when it all came together, that's what the ultimate goal was. It seems like it's just a seeker trying to find that inner peace, that peace of God. And so, what is the message that you feel like other people just outside looking in that might not be familiar with some of your solo things and just want to check you out as an individual? What do you want them to take away from this, as far as, you know, what they can relate to on your journey?
Yeah, you never know what is going to resonate with other people, right? You know, I always just try and write from that honest place. And inner peace, you know, the first line is inner peace is hard to find. And I feel like for me as a believer, I'm always looking for hope. I'm always looking for God to break through in the moment, you know, that the transcendent light that spoke the world into existence would speak some meaning and purpose into this present moment for me, you know. And I think that, you know, I think on the one hand there is a final moment where all is made well, but then, you know, I'm very aware that in my lifetime, while I'm here on this planet, that's a struggle, you know, that anyone who says that they've got it all figured out, they're lying to themselves too, you know. So like for me, you know, I look to the scriptures and I look to people I respect. That particular song goes to Soren Kierkegaard. Purity of heart is to will one thing, and yet I've got a lot on my mind, and so I'm trying to, I guess with that song in particular, but the whole project, just to be honest and put all of this on the table, and sing my way to hope.
Well, it's truly is a journey, and it's so awesome. And as you journey through this solo project, can people expect to see you in their city?
I hope so.
Okay.
Depends on which city they live in.
Yeah. Well, where can they check out what cities you're stopping
Yeah,
at?
so I'm headed east from here. I'm going to Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and then then I'll hit Florida, Atlanta, on up to Nashville.
What's the website they can find
So
the location?
JonForeman.com.
Okay.
That thing knows more than I do, that's for sure.
Well, we will make sure that everybody goes and checks out your website and make sure that they check out your albums, The Wonderlands. It's available everywhere digital music is sold, including iTunes. And we are so thankful that you allowed us to come backstage right before a show and have this time with you. It's been a beautiful experience, and we hope to see you live and on TV again soon.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.